Podketeers.
I believe the way I should start today's episode is with a very descriptive term for the weather, because we went through months of heat and then we went to weeks of rain, and all I can say to describe how it feels right now is burr.
Is that chilly?
Very. At least for California. I mean, I know that there are other places that have snow and all that stuff.
But we don't have snow.
We don't.
No.
And as Californians, we're used to a specific temperature throughout the year, and even in the season changes, we tend to have very consistent warmth. Comparatively to other locations that have just snow. And I'm not the type of person to generally get cold, when the weather changes. And today I woke up and thought, man, I need a jacket.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold. I will say that if I wanted to live in the snow, I would, but I don't, because I just don't.
Yeah.
I bought my wife a couple years for Christmas a heated vest.
Ooh.
It's like a battery heated vest, and she wears it every day because it's been so cold.
Oh, so does it
Dude,
work
they're
well?
awesome.
Yeah, no, she loves it.
Oh, I might have to look into that.
Ororo is the brand.
So what was that?
Ororo.
Oh,
It's ORORO.
made by the Scooby Gang?
I think so.
It's like
ORORO.
Scooby-Doo product?
Ororo.
Ororo. It's awesome. You know what I won't be buying anytime soon?
I was gonna have a joke, but I lost. Fabergé egg.
No, I own one of those.
Oh,
it's
well,
right.
So you won't.
I'm kidding.
So you won't be buying one anytime soon because you got one.
I mean, people collect them, so maybe I will be buying it.
Oh, okay.
Because I want more in my collection.
Okay, I could tell you facts about Fabergé egg, but I'm not going to, because you're gonna say something.
More Quizneyland.
Yeah.
No, a Kingdom Hearts pin that got released this last week. It's a new series that the Disney parks had released. It's a series of 12 pins. This one was limited to 4,000 pins. And apparently by 10 a.m. On release day, they were already sold out.
Of course.
It is, I have to admit, it's one of the nicer Kingdom Hearts pins that I've seen. Let me bring up an image of it here so you can check this out. I like this. I like this pin a lot, as a matter of fact. Yeah, sold out. And of course, I went to check eBay because I felt like being angry, I guess. And the very first post that I see, $499.99.
Nope.
Free shipping though. I mean,
Oh.
it's got
Oh,
that
that's
going
nice.
for it. So,
For
I mean,
once.
hey, it's, free shipping. So that's great.
It looks like the cheapest I can find now is $215.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's
On eBay
still a
right
nope
now.
for me.
Still no.
This is like a $20 pin, dude.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend hundreds of dollars on something like this, because that is absolute madness. I say.
They all go. Oh, here's the one that's 200.
There's one
Still
that's
no.
200 already. Yeah.
200. It'll go
That's
down because
bill
everybody's just basing their listings on other people's listings.
That's true. That is true.
So dumb.
You know what the sad part is? That more than likely, I don't know. This seems to be one of those pins that like legit sold out. I feel like there's pins that get released that there's like the hype is so much for it that sometimes Disney doesn't pull all the pins out to sell them because they want to reserve them. They don't want the scalpers to buy them and like
Yep.
and like try to sell them on eBay at an upcharge, especially given that a lot of them are using their AP discount, or sorry, their Magic Key discount, to get them cheaper, which is against your past policy, by the way.
Yep.
but and a lot of those pins end up available for sale at like Company D or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I've joked in the past about like, don't worry, it'll be at Company D for $3 like in 6 months or whatever. I This is like the one of the first pins that I look at that I just think to myself, yeah, that's not gonna be a Company D. Like that's eventually it'll go down on eBay, and if I can find it for like $60, $70 or something, I might buy it for that price. Just because I really like it, and it's still less than the price of a day at the park, which is probably what I would have gone for just to get it, since I don't have a pass right now. Um, but we'll see.
I don't
Right
know. It looks
now,
like
500 bucks. Mm-mm.
it looks like every one of the 4,000 pins is on eBay.
Seriously?
Like I'm looking in the sold. I'm looking in the sold versions on eBay right now.
Oh no.
And
What was
most
the cheapest that it sold for?
The cheapest I've seen, it looks like, is I just passed one that was kind of $84.95 is the
See, 84
89,
might still be
87.
like still be willing to pay that.
$69.95.
What?
See, that's reasonable. Like if it's like a $25 pin and I didn't have to stand in line, I didn't have to buy a day
that's
ticket
a
or
good price
anything.
point.
That's what I'm saying. Somewhere along those lines, even the
70,
80 I'm willing to
89,
push.
It looks like that's where most of these have sold, is between the $80 and $90 range.
Okay.
59, I found one that sold for 59 plus 571 shipping.
Yeah, eventually the prices are gonna go down because the hype is gonna go down for
Right.
Yep.
like there's always that like 1 or 2 weeks after something gets released where everybody really wants to get it, either to post a video about it that they got
Right.
it or whatever the case is, and then after that the prices begin to lower. So again, that's about the price point that I'm willing to be okay with potentially paying for it. I have tons of other things that I could potentially spend that $80 on as well. So I could buy more filament to 3D print and just make my own. I mean,
Yep.
there's also that, right?
It's like,
So,
why
All
not?
right. 56 was the lowest I
Yeah.
found for it. So,
That's not bad. That's not bad.
but yeah, it looks like. Also, have you seen this thing on eBay where people they do pre-sale?
Oh,
That's
dude,
What?
yes, I have seen that, and it bothers me so much because that is just, especially for like some of the Disney products,
Mhm.
it's just encouraging like people going out and buying like 20 of them, and like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't like
Wait,
it.
so they could pre-order is what you're saying?
Well, basically, these people are saying that they're basically guaranteeing that they're going to end up with one, because if they don't sell it to you, then whatever. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that were listed as pre-sale. They were all $79 or $75.
Ew.
I'm gonna say something
yeah.
that I don't have anything to fully support. It's just a gut feeling, so this is speculation on my part. But especially when it comes to these releases, there is no way you can guarantee one
No.
unless you know somebody that works there that's setting them aside for you.
I mean, I guess if you're like, unless you're like, you know, the day it's coming out and you're getting there at 5 a.m. and waiting.
Okay, then that was unfair for me to say because you're correct. Unless you're willing to camp out or something.
Which
or
I
be
guess if
there
this is their
ridiculously early.
job, I guess this is
I
what they do
guess.
for a living.
So I will retract a portion of what I said. and
But
say
still.
it is very difficult.
I stand
I'll
by it.
append it. I'll append it to say that it's very difficult to guarantee something like this
100%.
because of the nature of how they do it, especially when they have to distribute the tags or something, or the little wristbands and stuff
Right.
that they end up giving you, or the tickets. Because of how they tend to release these things and do the early distribution, it's difficult to guarantee it. So
Yeah.
unless you don't care about refunding somebody if you weren't able to get it and you're just gonna steal someone's money, it's difficult. I won't say it's impossible at this
Right.
point, because you are correct. I'll say that it's
See-
difficult to guarantee it.
That's where my mind went. It's like, why would you for something like this, like you just said exactly the reasons. For those who've gone to the parks, those who've gone to get like a limited edition pin, you can't really get so many unless you're lucky to just go back in line. But even then, or if they have a limit or something, blah, blah, blah. But why would you give your money if someone doesn't have the item or something like, don't do that, people. Just, no. Ask a
You know, the
friend
funny
who's
thing,
going.
here's the funny thing about what you just said.
What?
I here's the irony, and where I think I'm being a little contradictory to what I just stated. I'm a
Oh.
big fan of Kickstarter. Especially for
Yeah.
new playing card decks, and nobody guarantees that you're ever going to get your card decks, right? As a matter of fact,
Yes.
in the what is it now? Probably 10 years that I've been on Kickstarter, I've backed a lot of projects, and there's probably 6 in the entire time that I've like done Kickstarters that the thing that I funded did not go through. Like the person just stole the money or whatever the case was. You know, we just never got our product. And there was a couple in the last few years, as a matter of fact, that the person it was 2 different creators that were really well known in the playing card community, as a matter of fact, and that just ghosted everybody. Like nobody knows anything about them anymore. Nobody knows where they moved, what they did, and it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars that they
took the
that
money
they
and
took.
run.
It basically.
Mm-mm.
So the irony in the pre-order situation and what we're all saying is that I'm a huge fan of Kickstarter. So I do believe in pre-orders of stuff. As a matter
Yeah.
of
When
fact,
you are the one selling the product, not you going out and
right.
buying somebody else's
Well-
thing. And
Well, I mean, there is a certain there is a certain comfort level and confidence level that you need to have in who's selling the product, right?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I've considered doing pre-orders for stuff because we've changed. There's been a lot of I've seen releases for a lot of T-shirts from a lot of really great designers and stuff where they they do pre-orders for their product, and then they only make the pre-ordered items, right? And it's a
Right.
smart thing to do. Like the way that ours is set up is our t-shirts get made whenever somebody orders something, right? But we kind of shifted away from that because we wanted a little bit more of a personal touch, and there's some additional elements that we're trying to add to the shirts. Like for instance, like now if you get a shirt, like now it says stuff like Podketeers podcast on the sleeve, and then there's
Right.
like a customized like sizing graphic and stuff like that, which we couldn't do with the company that we had before. And so as we're transitioning kind of to this new model of fulfilling products, a lot more of them are coming through me. Like I'm the one making them. I have a couple people helping me out with it, and then we ship out the products. But it's obviously hard for me to know like what sizes are going to get purchased, and I don't want to have all that stuff on my shelves. Like I barely have enough
Right.
space now, right? That's part of what took me so long in like rearranging all of this. And so I've tried to minimize a lot of that product, minimize having a lot of that stuff on hand. I do have some test products, obviously, that I have on hand, but I don't want to have inventory. And so
Right.
I've considered doing pre-orders of stuff where we design like a shirt and then we do a pre-order. We set a time length for like 90 days pre-order, and at the end, whatever's done, that's all I order and that's all I make. And then we move on to another design, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that's probably going to be the model for the gear on the website. Some of it, I think, is going to be easier to just keep the way that we're doing it now, but I mean, ultimately, it may just all come to like simple pre-orders. But that's the thing, right? In order to do a pre-order, you have to be comfortable with somebody actually making and fulfilling that. And part of the reason I haven't transition to that is because there's quite a bit of work associated with it, and over the last few years it's just been really hard for me to take on any additional work like that. So I wanted to make sure that I could confidently fulfill everything before I started doing it, and uh, that's where we are right now. So will we do it? Yeah, soon at some point. but uh, that's where we are with this stuff. So you have
Right.
to have you have to know or feel that that product is going to get fulfilled at some point is
Right.
really
And
what I'm
have
getting
the
to.
items on hand or the inventory on hand,
Right. Yeah,
whichever.
that's the other thing, because there is, like, for usually I've worked with one other pre-order, and when we did the pre-order for the Teamboat Willie pin,
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason I had done the pre-order the way that I had done it was because the pins were already on the way to us. Like, we had
Right.
already
Right.
received like a shipment confirmation and all that stuff. Um, and I think part of the reason a lot of people do pre-orders is because they're trying to offset the cost of making something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you take the
Right.
money
Right.
from the pre-order, you buy the stuff, and that way there's not a lot of waste to go along with it. I already knew we were going to do the pins regardless of whether people bought them or not, and
Mm-hmm.
I it was just something I really wanted to do for the podcast and have for Teamboat Willie. We do eventually, once we're doing like more in-person fundraiser stuff, I do plan on doing a second pin at some point. Like, this first one was a limited edition 100 pins that said Teamboat Willie, but it, for those of you that own it, you know that it's got like the gold accents around it, right? It's got the
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
border, it's got the gold lettering and everything. The next Teamboat Willie pin is going to be a larger amount. It's going to be like 250. Yeah, exactly. That's the limited pin. We only did 100 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we still have some, by the way. If anybody's interested in ordering a pin, they're available for purchase in the gear section, podketeers.com/gear. You could also reach out to us, send us a message. We could work something out, but we still have a few of those left. Um, the next Teamboat Willie pin that we do, or the next Podketeers pin, is probably going to be a larger amount. It's probably going to be like 250
Mm-hmm.
ish for that one. I've debated whether or not to do the second Teamboat Willie pin, but with the silver lining, so that
Mm-hmm.
it's like the second version, or an actual Podketeers logo pin.
Ooh.
That's the one that I've really like kicked around, and it might be the one that we go with next. I think it'll be fun to have an actual Podketeers pin that we can put on
Yeah.
something, but
Sport it.
plans for the future, I guess. So
Right.
there's a little peek behind the curtain into the backstage area. Hey, I don't know if either one of you, not Disney related, but just content in general to consume, was either of you really on the Stranger Things bandwagon, really excited about the final season launching last month and kind of followed it through, or were you over the whole Stranger Things uh, saga?
I am happy for those who are interested and love it. I tapped out at season 1.
Really? That's
Yeah.
that's like 11 years ago now. 10 years
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
Wow.
But I'm happy for anyone who's enjoying it. I mean, I see the joy, and that's awesome. I'm
That's
not
funny.
gonna like rain on anyone's parade.
All right. Fair
I
enough.
will. Who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I watched all the other seasons, and then it's been what, 5 years since the last one,
Yeah.
something like that. I lost interest. I don't care, and I've grown to not like some of the people in the cast.
I agree.
And so I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, sure, I like what's his face, David Harbour, and I like Winona Ryder, but they're not the main characters of the show. So, I don't care about who all the kids and whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I I like them too. I had some difficulties jumping into this one as well for very similar reasons. I mean, there was a big like span of time that went
mm-hmm.
by between the last season and this one. And there were factors into why that it took so long, obviously,
Right.
but in that time frame, some of the cast has said some things that are not very favorable, and so I agree with you. I tend to not want to support that stuff, but there was
Right.
also a part of me that like saw everything else and wanted to see the end of the series,
A
just to kind of
100%.
like
Right.
fulfill like the whole story. And so the crazy thing about this is that one, season 5 had a lot of inconsistencies to what we already knew about the Stranger Things universe, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so when it ended, when the final episode finally like aired, there was a lot of controversy about how it ended, and a lot of people were very unhappy. There
Oh
were
dang.
like theory after theory after like
Conformity gate.
that's exactly what happened. That all the theories just became this thing called conformity gate, where um, people were speculating that there was a secret episode, that there was a ninth episode that kind of actually cleared up the series and wrapped it up properly because of all the inconsistencies that we saw. And I have to admit that if I told my brother and I told my buddy this, that we were talking about it after that episode aired and
Mm-hmm.
after we watched it, and I said, listen, if this is the end of the series, I guess I have to kind of force myself to be content about it, right? Because
Right.
I can't change that.
Right.
However, the amount of clues that people have put out that potentially show that there's more to this than that final episode is kind of staggering. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of really good arguments as to why there could potentially be more content. Like one of which, like Google sent out 11 VHS tapes to creators, like 11
Mm-hmm.
around the world, right? And it was from Stranger Things, it was from Google, and it was specifically branded to these 11 creators that talked about the series for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It had a bunch of Stranger Things swag. It had some like old manila envelopes with like locations in Hawkins and the characters and all that stuff. But they were very like cryptic
Mm-hmm.
VHS like videos, right? It had like stuff from like scenes, and it had like characters, and it was like catered to each specific creator.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't, since you probably weren't watching, you probably, I don't know if you know about it, but they launched a radio station. It was called the Squawk. It was like WSQK
Mm-hmm.
on
Hmm.
the Global Radio app. So you could listen to music that was supposedly coming from Hawkins,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And the DJ was named Mindy Flair, which was,
Okay.
a play on the Mind Flare from the show. And the squawk went off the air. Like there was a whole like, thank you for listening message, but there was some things in the final message that made it sound like there was like it wasn't the end. So
Mm-hmm.
people kind of took that into consideration. A couple days ago, they posted new stuff that says it's coming back on the 11th and the 12th of January, and it's got episodes that say catch up, but then also kind of listen for the first time. Like you can't catch up for stuff that hasn't aired yet, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
there's like that. There's stuff that ties obviously to the VHS. In the background of things, people were finding messages in the way that tapes were like arranged in the back. They were like it's Morse code, and so they were like figuring out. And so it's funny for me to go through this. I've seen the two camps, right? Because in
Sure.
conversations that I've had with coworkers and friends and like with my brother and everything, there's like these two camps of people that are like 100% you guys are all crazy, there's nothing happening, and then there's like the camp of like you don't know, there's more, like, right? And so uh I kind of fall into the camp of it would be awesome if there was more. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love this stuff because listen, everybody that's on TikTok or Instagram or everything following all of these clues and putting this stuff together,
Hmm.
this is kind of the base of the show, right? It was piecing together a lot of that stuff. you're talking to a generation of people that grew up on Gravity Falls and grew up on MatPat
Yeah.
videos about Five Nights at Freddy's and just listening to weekly videos about, but hey, that's not just a theory. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a whole generation of people that love this type of puzzle and these types of clues and putting these things together. And I have to admit that there's a lot of stuff out there that, especially from experienced Dungeons and Dragons
Mhm.
players that know the lore of the game, that were able to connect the characters to hints in the show, to things that happened and didn't happen and how they happened incorrectly in the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
That does make you think there's potentially something else coming, like a real final episode. And I remember the very first thing I remember seeing was that I thought there was going to be another episode. And then all I saw was that Netflix was releasing this documentary on January 12th. And I thought, oh man, that it looks like that's the only new content. And I remember the very first thing that came to mind at that point. I remember texting my brother frantically, and I texted my buddy
Mm-hmm.
Ross, and I was like, I think I got it. And then I told him, what if the documentary is the final episode? What if the documentary turns out to be this whole like Wes Craven's New Nightmare thing, where the cat, like, it's this meta episode where the cast is walking around, Vecna crosses the fourth wall, like, and starts like killing like all of the cast members as their actual selves. Like, that's the movie, right? The documentary is the final
Mm-hmm.
episode. And neither one of them bought my theory. And so I was like, I don't know. It's just it's coincidental that Vecna's dad on the show, Victor Creel, is also played by Robert Englund, right? And the fact that the Duffers have said that all of these things were inspired by things in the 80s, and Nightmare on Elm Street, I was going to say Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare on Elm Street, like up until the like early 90s, when Freddy's
Mhm.
Dead was, which was the final film in the original portion of the franchise, like, it was a huge franchise at the time, right? Like, Freddy
Mm-hmm.
Krueger became an iconic horror character. And I
Mhm.
get it. Like, the first thing my buddy pointed out was, this is not a horror franchise, it's a sci-fi franchise. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but who's to say that they won't use the same model, to end the show? And so the funny thing and the cool thing was that I felt validated that, like, as the days went on, I
Mm-hmm.
started to see videos of other people having the exact same idea, that it's potentially like this new nightmare situation. And I did say, again, I reiterated, like, listen, I will concede all of this, and if this turns out to be the final episode, if there's nothing else, I can concede that I just didn't like the ending. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It is what it is. I know Game of Thrones people know exactly what I'm talking about, because Game of Thrones fans were like, "What was that?" Right? And they weren't happy with how it ended either. Um, but if there does turn out to be something else, according to all these clues, there's a lot that I will feel vindicated about, especially considering that I like following this stuff. Like, the last time that I had an opportunity to follow a lot of the clues and go back and watch episodes and start making connections, like, before I had seen it, I had also sent them a message saying, another connection that I saw people posting about. But before I had seen the videos, I told them, it's funny that Derek, one of the new characters in the show, was playing was playing the game Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, because
Ooh.
Ghosts and Goblins is a game that is like, it's very famously known for making you play the game twice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as
Mhm.
soon as you get through it the first time, it tells you this is not the true ending. You have to play it through again, because this was all an illusion from like Satan or something like that. And then you have to play it all the way through again to get the true ending of the game, which carried on throughout the franchise. And so it wasn't lost on me that he was playing that game specifically, especially given that Lucas, like, looks straight into the camera at one point. It looks like he's talking straight to the audience, and he's like, I don't believe in coincidences. I'm like, neither do I, Lucas, neither do I get you, man. So, there's a little bit of tin hat, obviously, with all of this. It's been fun going through it. The last time I had an opportunity to really dive into a lot of these puzzles was a couple of years ago when the Wyatt Six debuted in WWE,
Oh.
when Uncle Howdy was posting these like cryptic QR codes on SmackDown and like the different shows, and you had to go to the website, and like you had to look at the source code of the website to figure out like hidden messages and the ciphers that they had, and like there was all these pictures that you had to decode and stuff. So it was very similar with this one. It feels it. Do either of you know what an ARG is?
No.
No.
I don't
So
think so.
so an ARG is essentially it's usually related to horror
Mm-hmm.
stories, but it's essentially a story. It's an augmented reality game that
Okay.
kind of breaks
Oh.
the fourth wall, where you're kind of following
Good.
the story in real life, and it kind of clashes with stuff
Okay.
Got it.
digitally and stuff like that. Like it kind of feels like the way that a lot of these things, if they were done on purpose, if it wasn't the Duffer Brothers just being sloppy and not knowing how to wrap up their own show,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and it was done on purpose, then it feels kind of like an ARG, which is why I think that the documentary could potentially be like this whole like new nightmare situation where it becomes this meta like situation within the franchise, right? And
Mhm.
nobody's ever done it before, so it would make history. It would make the news. So if anybody had the money to pull something like this off, it would be Netflix and
Mm-hmm.
the Duffer Brothers, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see. We're a few days away from the release of that documentary, so I'm not. I've gotten to the point where I'm can't kind of keeping up with some of the new theories. I had to learn a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons lore in order to figure some stuff out. But when the experienced players were coming out and talking about like how the characters have connections and how the timeline of the show lines up with releases of like version 1 to version 2 to version 3 because of changes that happened in Dungeons and Dragons, because of characters like Vecna being introduced into the game and stuff like that. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, there is some legitimacy to what some of these people are saying. Like the theories kind of pan out. So I'm hopeful that it wasn't all, that we get something. I know that there's a cartoon coming. There's like a prequel or something that's already planned for Netflix with like Joyce Byers as the lead character when she was younger. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had to go back and look at some of the inconsistencies that people are complaining about. So Conformity Gate. I'll keep you posted and tell you what happens and let you know how crazy everybody was
What about
in
that
the
thing
end.
where Netflix posted on Twitter where they said all episodes are now streaming?
I mean, that's part of it. It's there's a the, it. What's funny is that I think Netflix may have been in on it at some
Mm-hmm.
point, because on the 7th, when people were speculating that there was going to be this like magic new episode,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix had changed the graphic, which no longer said new episodes. They changed the graphic on the Netflix app to once again say new episodes available on January 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were going crazy and they're like, "Where's the new episodes? All we see is the old stuff."
Like
But part of
they're like
part
new
of
episodes of Is It Cake or whatever
yeah,
that show.
no, it was on the tile
Yeah, no.
for Stranger Things, so it actually had the red banner
Sure.
on the Stranger
Uh-huh.
Things image, and they changed it to Vecna and all sorts of stuff. And then there's like all the inconsistencies in all of the interviews that the cast has been doing since it ended. Like everybody's saying different things. Then they had the I forgot his name, but the actor that plays Vecna, he was on Jimmy Fallon, and he was quoting certain things that Vecna said in the show, and he said it in such a way that felt like a clue. And so again, it could be that we're now playing this ARG, and this is kind of a way for like uh, this may sound bad, but it's kind of like a way to remove all of the non-fans of the show and keep the true fans playing so that they get something in the end from playing this game on the side. Or it could just be that they're trolling us and we're not getting anything, and they're just having fun trolling us, right?
You know what? I'm sure Netflix is doesn't care either way. People keep checking in the Netflix app, and that helps them.
They're
I
making
was
all
gonna
sorts of
say
money
this
from
is
this.
genius marketing because people are still talking about it. People are still bringing it up,
Right.
and the fact that that's what anybody wants, and that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, dang, this is wow.
Yeah. It's picked up like this whole like life of its own, right? And that's
Yeah.
what I agree with you. The fact that this is just making them money hand over fist.
Right.
Oh,
The funny
absolutely.
the funniest thing that I've seen in all of the posts is that I don't know how they're doing it, but their social team is working overtime. There are accounts that are confirmed, like Netflix in France and like stuff like that are posting like weird images, or were posting over the course of the last 4 weeks. They were posting or reposting certain videos. Like there was this one that I had seen that they reposted of a
Hmm.
creator that had posted some waterfalls,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it was just this like serene like scene. It was kind of nice. It
Mm-hmm.
looked like the sun was going down in the background. And then they reposted that creator reposted the exact same video, but it posted it with the Stranger Things music in the
Mm-hmm.
end. And so and like there was like, I'm telling you, there's all these like little things that it feels like we're getting trolled, or it was planned, along with like stuff like the VHS tapes and stuff like I don't know. Again, it's this is all being presented to a generation that grew up on stuff like Gravity Falls and MatPat videos and everything.
Right.
So obviously there's also a certain type of person that loves puzzles like this. I love them. I just don't have the time to sit there and 100% go through everything and really dissect everything. I didn't know enough about the Dungeons and Dragons lore to really make more of an educated guess on character traits more than I already kind of knew. And I don't know how people felt about the new Nightmare when it came out, but I liked it, right? Which was where kind of my mind went as soon as all of this started happening. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. This was probably way longer than it needed to be, but hey, here we are.
No,
So
it was pretty
Conformity
good.
Gate. Now I can tag it in the video and be a part of the conspiracy.
There you go.
Should have
There
worn
you
a tin
go.
hat for the whole thing. All right, I just realized what time it is, so let's quickly shift and thank a very special group of listeners and viewers known as the FGP Squad, our podcast, Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. On that page, you'll find some information about what the FGP Squad is all about, a link to our Patreon, some of our top contributors. But being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks, access to discount codes for new Podketeers gear, additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon, random giveaways of stuff that I 3D print sometimes, so all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested, again, podketeers.com/FGP is where you want to go. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Speaking of links, podketeers.com/links is a good place for you to bookmark or set a shortcut on your phone, because it's where you will find all of your life's desires when it comes to Podketeers links. Why? Because on that page you'll find our latest episode, a link to the Quizneyland playlist, fundraisers that we're running with our official charity team, Team Boat Willie. You'll find a link to our Discord community if we'd love to have you a part of that. So if you click on the link, you'll be able to join that as well. You'll find links to our YouTube channel, our pal Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. You'll find a link to our Armchair Imagineering playlist and more. Usually if we have announcements or any quick alerts that we have to put up, we'll also put them up on that page as well. So podketeers.com/links is where you want to go. Bookmark it, set a little icon as a shortcut on your phone. I can promise you that it updates at least once a week, sometimes more, but at least once a week. And if you want to go there multiple times a week just to say hi to the page, nobody's going to answer because it's just a web page. But you could say it. You could say hi web page, and the web page will just stare back at you. And Conformity gate. um, let's see. Oh, hey, speaking of 3D printed, did you see the article that Disney printed an actual item for the Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, they worked with some
think so.
company. I don't remember what the company was, but there's a little boat, and they used the biggest crane in the world to put it in. I don't know if you saw the video.
It was massive. It was just so cool. This is a picture of the boat that they created. And I know some people had been posting about it and posting images and videos and saying things like, well, it doesn't look like a 3D print. You know, it doesn't have all those lines and stuff that 3D prints have. It's very true. Because there's something about finishing the items, you know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not that they're just gonna
Exactly.
plop it off the printer and
Right.
stick it in the water.
Right.
And
That's
more
the Disney
importantly,
way.
exactly, and more importantly, there's several elements of this that I don't think were 3D printed, right? Like the rope, I think is still rope. I don't think the rope was 3D printed. Obviously, the
fabric.
sail, the fabric.
I'm
from
pretty
the sail.
sure the only thing that's 3D printed is the hull.
Is it?
And
Okay.
maybe the little outrigger, but all the videos and stuff I've seen are only of the like main part of the boat.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I mean,
because
why
don't know-
3D print a pole when you can just buy a pole?
a pole? Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what there are some pretty massive printers out there. For instance, there's one printer called the Giga something that, like, it can print like 6 feet by 6 feet items. Like, you can print entire chairs and stuff like that. You know, so I don't know what they're working with. If anybody has the money to buy something like that, it's gonna be Imagineering. It's gonna be Disney.
Well,
Of
so they
course.
worked with a company. They're not the ones that printed it themselves.
Okay, so either way, the company that did it, I speculate that this was potentially printed in multiple pieces. And then it
printed
was,
in one. I wish I could
It
find this
wasn't-
Ooh,
video.
even more impressive.
So if I'm gonna try and find this video right now, if I can find it, but it was basically printed like, if I remember correctly, watching the video, it was printed like the 3D printer like prints on this big long thing. It looked like it could print up to like 10, 20 feet long, but only really skinny.
Interesting.
Like it was like printing on a diagonal. I wish I could find this.
Interesting.
Let's see if I can find, because I'm getting okay. Haddy, Haddy is the name of the company that printed the boat. Yeah. So if you look at the Walt Disney Imagineering video that is posted, it has you can see the printer printing. It's like a robot arm. It's called like Walt Disney Imagineering installs 3D printed prop canoe at Jungle Cruise, and I think that's what.
Do you have a link to see if I can
Here,
bring
I'll
it up?
send you this one. This was like a repost. Is the first one that I found. It's a reposted of the Imagineering video.
Okay. Let me see. Let me check this out.
And we see the 3D printer around 12 seconds. And then it flashes to it every once in a while.
All right. So let me share this tab.
There's the big crane.
Tonight we're really excited
A
to
big
install
crane.
a 3D printed outrigger canoe into the Jungle Cruise.
I should have paid more
line.
attention to
There's
this.
a 3D printer.
Opportunity to see if 3D printing
There's the
has
boat.
some advantages over.
Oh,
that's,
you're right.
That's big.
This is the first time we're printing a prop to permanently live in one of our rides.
The new Jungle Cruise boat.
There's a
is
crane
made with
again.
This new technology that we're exploring called large format additive manufacturing, which is basically just making.
So you can
really
see it like
big,
printed
3D
a
prints.
weird angle,
So this new
and then
boat
like
is
Yeah.
attached.
designed within R&D, and then we collaborated with our vendor Hattie in order to 3D print the boat.
So our team actually went to a series of conferences, conventions, and network to try to find the right company out there.
Look at how big these suckers are.
Yeah.
To manufacture huge objects
Wow.
just like our parts need at a really high quality.
Because you can see how far this can like go down this track. Oh, across the whole room.
Is in a way
Mhm.
a match made in heaven, but it's one that's developed over 40 years. And
This is
40
Jay
years
Rogers,
of 3D
CEO
printing for a
and
long time
co-founder
has
of
been about
Hattie.
prototyping, but what Hattie's industrialized is the ability to be able to make things that are functional and to be able to repeat that many times. So it allows us to be able to make things that are reliable, less expensive, faster developed, and replicable in any park all over
Now they're
the
lifting
world.
it up.
We had the old boat, and we did do a 3D scan in order to get it dimensionally.
So they just had a boat, they scanned it, and then they printed the same
Had
boat.
a
Yeah.
photo of the boat from the
Hey,
3D
that's
scan.
awesome.
And so using the dimensions from the 3D scan, I modeled the new boat, which was what we used to 3D print the boat.
So this project right now is the
The
premier
boat is in the
project that we're
sky.
working on to show that we can use advanced fabrication, robotic manufacturing, and new materials to bring parks to life faster and more effectively.
Technology is advancing around the world in all kinds of ways, and we've got to make sure that it's keeping up for theme parks.
Bloop.
And we
And
look
the
at
boat's in the
all
water.
menu we have of things we're going to build. We've
Aw.
got parks around
that's
the
cool.
world that we're going to be building in the next 5 to 10 years. I think we're excited that we can be a part of making sure we can take advantage of these new technologies when we build our new theme park.
You know it's pretty awesome?
That was super cool.
What's
I
pretty
like
awesome
that they were
was
able to scan it and then you
Mhm.
could take the original and put it in an archive or bring it to an expo. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah, I've seen that the 3D scanning technology is a lot better, I think, than it was, because when I first got the 3D printer, I remember seeing videos of people using either their cell phones, like downloading an app and doing scans of their head to be able to like measure their head to make a helmet. But the software on the phone wasn't great, and it didn't work with every phone because some of it used like technology that isn't available on every device. And like scanning in cameras has obviously gone down in price. I think the entry point right now for a decent 3D scanning camera is like $400 to $500, where it essentially it mounts on its own. It kind of looks very similar to the gimbals that people use like
Okay.
with their phones at Disneyland,
Mhm.
where it attaches the phone, but it has like an independent camera. The phone is really just there to help you visualize what it's scanning and to give you prompts as to like where to move the item or where to move the camera rather. And so you kind of like walk around your object, or like you set up your camera on a tripod and then you put it on like a Lazy Susan or something, and you spin the item a few times, you kind of get it from the top, and that's how you get your 3D model. So I agree with you. The fact that they were able to scan like an object that existed, especially like an original product or like an original prop, put it in the archive to preserve it, and then create something like this that looks very similar, update it a little bit. I like it. The printing angle and the technology for these massive printers kind of, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen houses built with 3D printing
Mhm.
where they have like cement just piping out and layering
Yeah.
it's the same technology. It's like layer by layer creating these homes. It looks very similar to the type of like printer, except it's whatever material they used here, this like blend of material. It looks like it's going to be something that we're going to see in the parks. Obviously it's painted and it's made to look like it wasn't 3D printed, and that's the whole point, right? Whenever you're trying to make something, you're trying to make it look like it was hand fabricated, or you
Right.
you paint it, you do whatever you have
Seamless.
to it. It's I when I first saw it printing right now, when I first saw the video, I wasn't paying much attention to it. I was trying to multitask, and so I saw the crane, but I didn't like pay attention to much of the other one. So I'm glad that we saw it right now again. I don't know if this is why they do it, but there's certain things that I print at angles as well, because the layer lines tend to blend in a little bit better at a 45-degree angle. So you tend to see less layers, and they tend to melt into each other a little bit better to make it a more seamless product. But then you end up with like cleaning up supports and stuff like that in the long run. So yeah, it's interesting that they're using this technology. I knew that they were using 3D printers, like small scale 3D printers for miniatures and other props, and like kind of figuring out what things would look like before they went larger scale. So this was actually really cool to see. It's something that, again, I can show the kids. And when we went to the last D23 and we had Imagineers directly tell us, yes, we use 3D printers for prototyping. We use it for this, this, and this. Now, you know, if they continue learning the modeling and 3D printing, now there's this whole other career that they could build, like 3D printing park props. Right? Like, how cool is that? Which I guess you could already do now. There's just more work because you have to piece them together. That's where I am. Like, our printer's not large, so I have to print everything in like multiple pieces and then kind of like glue it together, right? So I like it. I mean, this is, I don't know, maybe I'll be an Imagineer soon. I'll go 3D print for Imagineering. Imagineering, hire me to 3D print stuff for you. What are you waiting for? I'm like, here, I'm just waiting. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, hey, speaking of props, let's talk a little bit about Leslie Iwerks' new thing. Yeah. This is super cool. She's releasing a new documentary called Disneyland Handcrafted. Let me share this quick video, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. Bring this up here.
Release of Disneyland Handcrafted, directed by Leslie Iwerks. The Walt Disney Archives curated these display cases on the Walt Disney Studios Lot Theater, featuring early assets from Disneyland, including this ticket book concept art. Also, we've got this billboard art that would be seen driving down the freeway towards Anaheim. Additionally, we have this wonderful souvenir guidebook, including the map at the back, highlighting the greater Los Angeles area and the freeways leading to Disneyland. We've got some great merchandise pieces, including this hat from the 1970s, this very small little Disneyland pennant from 1960, and this Disneyland puzzle from the Whitman Publishing Company from 1955. Additionally, we have a very colorful Disneyland tin Ferris wheel toy that was made in 1952. Very unique because this was before the park actually opened.
It still makes a very fun little noise.
I'm not a fan of Ferris wheels, but I like this one.
That's we also cute. Have this Casey Jr. train from the Lewis Marks and Company around 1955. Really awesome to see these assets preserved so well today. To celebrate the release.
And then I want to share this one as well because this was a video that Mickey Visit posted.
Is something supposed to be happening?
Oh, did it not share? I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm watching it over here.
Sorry for the dare.
I'm watching on another monitor. I'm like sitting here. I was waiting for something. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That's so funny.
I was like,
I'm like staring over here. Nobody said anything.
Hi, I'm Leslie Iwerks, and I am the director of the new Disneyland Handcrafted.
I'm gonna leave that whole thing in there.
That's fine.
Directed the Imagineering Story 6-part series on Disney Plus. And I am here on the Disney lot and about to unveil this week Disneyland Handcrafted. Excited to share it with you. So what is unique about Disneyland Handcrafted is that this is all unique footage that a lot of it has never been seen. And what we did was we put it together in sort of a chronological fashion as if you're watching it like you were there. No talking heads, no cutaways to photographs. It's just the footage that was shot by these camera people during the 1 year leading to opening day. And that's what we did. We put sound effects to it, authentic sound effects, really from that era, and really brought it to life. Check it out on January 22nd on Disney Plus and Disney YouTube. And Watch the making of Disneyland like you've never seen before.
Very cool.
That's
All right.
awesome.
So to start, yes, I'm gonna leave that whole thing in there. I think that was
That's
just
fine.
funny. This is exactly. I have two things to point out here. One, this is exactly what I've always wanted Disney Plus to be. This type of content, right? The making of the
Right.
parks and everything. And it's funny that we're talking about this specific project and this documentary about the building of the parks and like all these handcrafted items right after talking about the 3D printed item that's now in the parks, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've talked a lot about over the years about how much I love technology. I love experimenting with new technology whenever possible. And now that the parks have officially jumped into this 3D printing aspect of attraction parts, obviously attractions are not going to be 3D printed. At least I don't think yet.
No.
We've seen 3D houses be built, so maybe the structure of the building. I don't know. Who knows? So we're far away from like an entire castle or something getting 3D printed, right?
Right.
But the element of thinking about how, I don't know, using the tiki items in the tiki room, a lot of that stuff Rolly made, right?
Yeah.
And now they could just be 3D printed. I'm in the process of 3D printing a Hatbox Ghost head that I think I posted on Discord at some point that I was working on it. So the barrier to entry to creating these types of props and crafts now turns into whether or not you know how to 3D model or know someone that does, or are at the mercy of somebody that will sell you a model if they built something that you're really interested in. So it's kind of interesting that this is getting released now as we kind of, I don't want to call it a full transition, but as we're kind of like seeing Disneyland dip their toes into this 3D printing space where we're moving away from handcrafted items, because this is not only going to be like this archival like display of these items that were handcrafted, but something that we're also it's kind of showing what we're losing as we move into these technologies too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I mean, it's still handcrafted no matter what, because there's still things that you have to put together, or even painting. 3D printing doesn't paint, so it's still, there is still craftsmanship in, the new technologies and whatnot.
Well, somebody
Yeah.
still has to model the thing. Like, that's still somebody doing something. I mean, unless you're, until the AI monster comes and gets us all, people are still modeling stuff. And, I believe Imagineering will probably, because of the, how specific things need to be, those are all still going to be modeled by people, even if they're not necessarily, somebody's going to be out there, fiberglassing a boat. But then, like Melissa said, somebody's going to have to paint it. Somebody's going to have to this, because those things are all so specific. Even with a multicolor print, it's never going to look as good or as, realistic and immersive, like somebody painting it and treating it and all by hand and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
A good example, real quick, I'm sorry. The one thing I just thought about was the Small World dolls. You could make the body, but you're still going to have to make the clothes. So
Yeah, the hair and all that, the way
it's
that
just
it's
one
added to the dolls,
part of a mini part, process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because this is kind of like a conversation that we had off podcast, because there was a lot of debate in crafting spaces, especially as we were leading into like the Christmas season last year, that the barrier to entry to 3D printing has significantly been reduced, right? A lot of new technology is coming out, but a lot of what have been considered like the workhorse 3D printers have gone down in price significantly. So something that was maybe $900 5 years ago is currently going for $300 or $400 now. It's like the same setup and everything.
Right.
And a lot of these printers that have gone down in price is primarily because the updated version that does more stuff is now available, trying to get rid of inventory. But these are printers that people have been using for years reliably and can get really decent prints out of it. So what ended up happening was a lot of crafters were going to these marketplaces with items that they handcraft, they make. Like a lot of the stuff Melissa makes is a great example of this. Like Melissa puts a lot of care and love and like everything into the things that she handcrafts to sell at these marketplaces, right? And the argument was that there was a lot of people that were coming in with nothing but 3D prints. And the idea of them creating these little flexi dragons and all this stuff that was made that came off of the printer and they're just selling it is not handcrafted. And I don't sell things at markets anymore. Like it's been a long time since I've done like any type of art walk or anything. I've primarily taken on 3D printing just kind of as a hobby to kind of replace the fact that I haven't been able to go to the parks. It was kind of like my way to like merge the two things that I love, make a bunch of Disney themed stuff, and you know, in the process make stuff for other people, right? And I remember having this conversation with both of you where I felt bad because it wasn't like a handcrafted item. And Mel, I remember you bringing it up that, you know, there's still all these elements that have to be done to that thing. Like, especially the way that I was working on things. Like the last thing I remember, I had the gingerbread house up here, but like right now I have this thing. Like this didn't come off the printer like this, right? This is multiple pieces that were glued together, and horribly in some places, might I add. But I still had to go in and like it's like multiple pieces that I added magnets to and everything so it can like slide on the back of the head. And it was sanded down and primered like to get like the textures down. It was hand painted so that all the stripes and everything were done. Like, you know, so all of these things, like there was still, you know, a lot of elements to building something simple like this. Now, can I do this all in one shot? Can I do it? I don't have a printer that can do this effectively. So if I tried, it wouldn't look anywhere halfway decent. But I use a lot of this to be able to sit outside and listen to something, listen to music and kind of zone out. And, you know, it's just a way to relax, I guess. I'll put it back up later. But that's the idea of handcrafting these things. A lot of like, I do think that there's going to be a portion of stuff that isn't going to be handmade anymore, that could have been handmade. And it's good and bad, right? Because yes, you're right, there is somebody that still has to model it and still has to, like, it's not like if somebody was hand making this tiki mask, now their job can transition into modeling the tiki mask and printing it and then finishing the tiki mask, right?
Right.
But I think where, like, for me, the thing I'm having trouble like fully like accepting is that I think as a whole, as a people in the world, there's a lot of things that we're losing we just don't need to do that anymore. Like things that I learned when I was a kid that you just don't have to do anymore because some kind of technology or some kind of like machine can do it for you now much more efficiently. So I don't know. Maybe it's old man Heyzen just like you know, complaining about it. But I feel like as we move into new technology, there is always something lost in the legacy of how things are made, and that the care that gets put into the handcrafting, and the fact that not everything is exactly the same. Like everything has that like special touch because it's a little bit unique, because it's not exactly replicate. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is.
I see your point. I see your point. The only thing I think you may be forgetting is if they're creating like a new attraction or like a new character or no, let's say attraction because we see these a lot. Maquettes, like they're gonna have somebody's probably gonna have to work on them as a rough draft. Starts from a sketch and then it starts into being its actual little model, and then let's say they perfect it, sure, and they scan it and they eventually print it, but in a way it's still traditional art that comes into the technology that we know right now. um i don't think I don't think that's ever going to get lost. You're going to still have to use it. I mean, yes, there's what is it, Blender, that does everything, but with Blender you can't see it. Like it's not tangible. So that's the whole difference. So I still think there's still that element of being handmade, but it's just the process is more advanced.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think in my head it's just the idea of, I mean, I guess there's always going to be vocations where you end up using like specific skills, right? It's not like if I'm making this Hatbox Ghost Tiki, I don't have it anywhere near me to show it, but I like when I 3D printed it, I remember going through the process of sanding multiple areas down. I didn't want to sand too much because the good thing about 3D printing is because of the layers, it already kind of looks like wood grain.
Right.
But I wanted to sand enough so that I could have the first layer of primer and everything have something good to settle onto. And then after that, I had to paint it multiple times. And on top of that, I've gone through the process of trying to stain it with like wood stain to try to get some of the darker crevices and like to make it look more like wood white. So it is a process, obviously. But I think for me, the vocation clash that we're starting to lose is like, I didn't go get a hammer and chisel and sit there and chisel away at the shape of this Hatbox Ghost head, right? It was a product that I am now finishing.
But you were never going to do that in the first place.
You don't know, man.
You
I watch YouTube videos and I'm like, I could do that. Right?
So it did start that way, though. It eventually did start.
But yeah, but here's the thing too: is like, I feel like 3D printing is filling a void for the like people with less money. Let's say like this theory or that my thing here. People that have money to spend on the real deal are gonna buy the real deal. They, if you want the real wood, tiki thing, you're gonna commission somebody to make the real wood one. But, if you want something that looks like, a cool Indiana Jones thing that, otherwise you're not going to be able to have because there's just nobody making this, these things in this size and this price point. So it's not really detracting from anything, and it's giving a bunch of other people, means of income as well. 3D printing. Yeah. If you can sit there and model on the computer because that's your talent, and then you can throw it in the printer and sell it, and somebody buys it, then hey, that's great. And you're able to make a living on that. As long as you're not, stealing other people's artwork or whatever to print, then hey, all for it. If people want to buy it, I don't see the problem. And it like I said, it fills that price point of like, oh, I wanted this. You see all this cool stuff. This cool table, all this cool like organizer thing. Oh, it's $300, but somebody like made this other cool organizer thing on 3D printing, and I can buy the pieces, or I can buy the file from the guy that made it and print it myself. Like it fills that part of the market that didn't really even exist other than for like toy companies and things like. But the toy companies aren't making this like niche stuff that a lot of like the 3D prints are selling to. People aren't just like, you're making your Spider-Man masks and your Iron Mans and whatever, but people aren't making Temple of the Forbidden Eye things. People aren't making whatever Roger Rabbit this and Hatbox Ghost that. These are all things that don't exist other than here. So, and somebody had to make them still.
Yeah.
So as long as people are making them and it's not, AI junk, well, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And I guess there is that, there is, the fear, obviously, that it'll transition into just being AI stuff.
Oh yeah,
in the future, obviously,
people are going to start doing it.
And AI
it's
will
already
get,
there.
Yeah, it will get good enough. I can tell you that there are AI tools out there to create 3D models, but they're horrible. Like, people have tested these tools and they fall apart. They don't print well because the rendering software or in the AI just doesn't know how to properly create like the infill that modelers are experienced in doing. Eventually that'll change, and it makes me wonder if Disney's also going to take that route, given that they've invested a good amount of money in AI recently, and they've talked about like internally using like AI for their own stuff. We saw them do it with obviously some marketing over the last year, or what looked like it in marketing, allegedly. But if they're training their own internal AI, like, who's to say that at some point AI isn't going to take that 3D scan of the boat or a picture of the boat, like, because some of that AI is getting to the point where you just feed it a picture of something and it fills in the rest.
Yeah, the Adobe stuff is doing like, oh yeah, take this and it's a picture and now it's a 3D thing and you can spin it around, and
it's crazy like how good it's getting at this point. So who's to say that they won't transition to that, right? So I get what you're saying. You're right. There is a lot still that goes into it. I've been on the boat of buying models from people. I've been on the boat of using a bunch of free stuff to print out. Like the Miles mask was one that I got for free, if I remember correctly. But then stuff like the planters from Indiana Jones that we use for the Teamboat Willie fundraiser, the creator of that model, again, super talented modeler. I remember when I found the model was free for personal use, and it's very clearly listed as being free for personal use. You can't sell it, you can't use it for any type of profit or anything. So I made sure to reach out to them and ask them if they were okay with us using it as part of the fundraiser, and so that's why I only made a specific number of them as well. All of them, I hand painted all of them, so there was still an element of some handcrafting, but it's not like I sat there and like personally modeled everything out. I didn't, I don't have the skill or really the patience that Mel has to
Heyzen, you're too hard on yourself. You're too stop being so hard on yourself.
Exactly,
that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen.
You can take things and print them and then paint them, and that you shouldn't feel bad about it.
There's part of me that does.
Don't feel bad about it.
You are not a robot or a machine.
For me, it's just relaxing to be able to sit and work on something, right?
And that's good.
And then when it's Disneyland related, it just brings me a little more joy than it usually does.
And that's good.
So, but it's super cool that this is all kind of mixing together. Again, Leslie Iwerks, this new documentary.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yes, that's what we were talking about. I love the fact that they're just taking like all of these clips and just kind of like meshing them together into this giant movie for us.
I'm excited for it.
It's a Disney history geek stream, right? To be able to see this footage, and I've loved the embracing by the Disney company of showing a lot more of this stuff, because they realized that people were sharing it anyway when they were going to conferences and they were doing these like sit down things, and the more people were recording these sessions and posting them on YouTube, the more they started realizing, oh, maybe we should start doing this.
That's why they did the ride videos on Disney Plus. Like, it's the same thing. They're catching on. They know what they're doing.
I say we should have a
So
viewing party for this, like us 3 watching it at the same time. And just
we should do that. We'll record it for the FGP. We can comment on
that idea.
Because there's no dialogue, like she said. Like, there's no dialogue. There's no talking heads. It's just video and stuff. Like, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Comes out soon, right?
The 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, the 22nd.
So we got time.
Got time.
All right, let's plan for
Yay.
that. I like that idea. Be super cool. All right, well, let's transition to a final set of videos here before we wrap up today's episode. Let's talk about Avengers Doomsday a little bit, because
Doomsday.
Nailed it.
Moon Knight. Is he in it? Moon Knight.
I don't think so. I hope we see more of Moon Knight soon, though. That was a good series. So if I remember correctly, the idea behind the Avengers Doomsday trailers was that they were going to release a new teaser for the film every week for like 6 weeks or 7 weeks or something. I don't remember.
Some amount of weeks.
Along with Avatar Fire Ash.
Say it. There you go. The 40th at the time of recording, the 40th highest grossing movie of all time. It's only been out for a month.
And then in true fashion, Avatar ruined it. I'm kidding. So the plan was to release them every week as kind of like one of the initial trailers leading into the Avatar film. And people started spoiling it. They started posting it. They started recording clips. It started to leak. I don't know how Marvel didn't see that coming. I don't know how they thought people were not going to do that. It just seems like the nature of what happens with things like this now.
They didn't do that thing with like Endgame where they're like, "Don't spoil the thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, but eventually the plan was not to release them on YouTube or online at all. Like, you had to go watch it.
Right.
Which, when I first heard about this, made me angry because, one, they were going to force me to sit through an Avatar movie.
6
but
times.
Not only 6 times! I almost cursed right now because I got so heated in that moment. I'm like, what? Really? Is that how you're padding your numbers, James?
Could be.
Jim? Really? Come on now. So the fact that the Russos were in on this didn't make me happy, but now they went back on that whole thing and they started releasing some of these trailers. I want to play the trailers real quick.
I think there's 3 out on YouTube as we're recording.
Correct.
This, right? Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to mute them or else we're gonna get.
Well, I'll describe
this one. Yes, please do. All right, so here's the first one, and we're calling this one Steve Rogers Will Return.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh,
all right.
Sorry.
Black screen.
I'll scroll what I just said.
Spoiler for the end.
Right.
Windmill, motorcycle. It's still
Bird
the same.
eye view,
House,
and then a house.
leaves, tree,
Vecna. I'm kidding.
Kickstand, boot,
motorcycle,
helmet,
to the bone. That's what's playing
Triumph
in the background, right?
motorcycle, front door. Yes, that's what's his name? George Thorogood. Reflection in door. Captain America
Captain
jacket.
America suit.
You see the star.
Box.
Really
Hands.
old trunk.
Shoulder.
Baby.
Baby. Sleeping baby.
Sleeping baby.
His
Chin.
baby?
Nose. Eyes. It's Captain America, everybody.
No.
It's Steve Rogers.
It's Steve Rogers. It is not Captain America.
Sorry, yes,
Let's
you're
remember, Sam Wilson is Captain
That's
America.
right. And then it says Steve
Multiverse.
Rogers will return. In Avengers Doomsday.
Dun, 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 dun. In Avengers Doomsday. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so that was the first teaser that came out. And
Yep.
everybody kind of lost it because this whole time Chris Evans was like, I'm not in Doomsday.
What
I'm
you
not
talking
in
about?
Doomsday.
The
Well, yeah,
obvious.
so I'm not Which way did he go?
I'm in
And then we got
Knives Out.
this trailer.
All right, we got, let's see, what do we got? Trees,
Sunlight.
sun, father, it says father in the
Golden hour for photos.
All my life I have answered every call. This is the subtitles. To honor, duty to war. It's still trees.
Yes. Will be somebody in a cape with a big axe.
But now fate has given me something I never sought. A bed.
And there was a
kid
somebody
in a bed.
in a bed.
But a child.
A tiny child.
A life untouched by the storm. I don't know who's voiceovering this. I missed it. Led
right.
me the faith to something something. So that I may fight
Look.
once more. That's Thor. Defeat one more enemy, and he's holding thing. And return home. He's not holding thing. He's holding Stormbreaker. Not as warrior, but as warmth. To teach her not
So-
battle, but stillness. The kind I never knew. Please, Father, heed my words. He's like praying to the sky.
He's praying to his papa.
His dead dad. Remember when he died? He died, right?
papa.
Thor
So
will
this is
return in
clearly-
Avengers Doomsday.
Multiverse. Everybody has babies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, who did Thor have a baby with?
What's her name?
Jane?
Yes.
I thought she died of cancer.
Listen.
Didn't that
multiverse,
happen?
man.
Multiverse.
Multiverse.
Did
Anything
she?
happens.
Okay, I was
it
like,
could
wait,
also be it. Like there was a little girl.
did
at
she
the
like
end of
fight
Love and
Christian
Thunder.
Bale and?
Something like that. Like there was already. I forget the story. I should know this. But there was a child at the end of the film, so
Google
you know maybe he
Thor's
just she needed somebody to adopt her, right? And so Thor adopted her, and now she's gonna be raised by the mighty hammer of Thor. Oh no, she doesn't have.
Oh,
any
okay. So no, this is who it is. It's Love is the biological daughter of Gore the God Butcher, whose death by starvation triggered
That's
her
whose
father's
daughter it
murderous
was.
crusade. Blah 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 blah. Which is why she has all those weird lines on her face.
Yes, that's
That's
who
who
it
it
is.
is.
Thank you for looking.
There you
that up.
go.
All right, so here's the third trailer that
Okay.
we've gotten.
I love this one.
Window.
Oh, wait, I gotta-
Oh, you gotta play it. Arm of a chair. It's dark. Lights.
It's a magic store.
There's a broken thing on the floor.
So it's
Death comes for us all. Stairs. It's like ransacked house. I know it's all
That's
for sure.
all I know for sure.
Oh, sure. There you go. I read. A Xavier School for
School.
something. Sign on the floor. Are you prepared to die? The question
The
is,
question is-
who would you be?
Who would you be?
What voice are you doing?
There
I don't
goes the
know.
wheelchair with the
That's shouting
X,
Sean Connery. Yes, well.
and
Floating
then the
chess
chess piece
piece.
floats.
And then we got
Old
two
guy
old guys
hands.
holding hands. Yep, one's Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart,
Santa
the other's
Claus.
Ian McKellen.
Oh,
Father
Santa-
Time.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
James Marsden.
Losing it.
The X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday.
By the way, my hands were raised. I was all excited. This is
December
the one
18th,
I'm like so looking forward
2026.
to.
11 months, 11 days. That was as that was released.
Oh, madam.
Yup. There's
This
a
is-
lot. Okay, when we first heard about Doomsday, I didn't expect it to be slowly coming back as Endgame. Like that feeling of you're going to see not everybody, unfortunately.
And who knows? We might see variants at this point.
Yeah, who are we not going to see? The
Scarlet
dead ones?
Witch.
Yeah, we wouldn't see
T'Challa.
Natasha. We wouldn't see the Scarlet Witch. We've lost people along the
The
way.
good ones. Jeez, thanks, Marvel.
That's how it looks.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
what
they roll.
about... But we might see... I don't know.
We won't see Thanos.
Korg? Will we see Korg?
Who knows?
Will Korg
Who
return
knows?
in...
I mean, at this point,
Avengers
we've already
Doomsday?
seen new
Who-
Gamora.
I hope we see Luis. Come on.
Yeah!
Yeah,
Let him
that'd
come
be good.
back. We
I
should
like
make a list of
him.
who we want to come back.
Yeah, who should
I
come
just
back?
want everybody to come back. I mean, it's it's funny because
MODOK.
MODOK. We need more MODOK cartoons. There's a lot of speculation, obviously, about what story is gonna be the official story for Avengers Doomsday, and there's a lot of talk about the last episode of the Loki series, kind of playing a lot into this whole multiverse thing, along with the Doctor Strange multiverse film. And one of the interesting things that I heard is that obviously we kind of know that, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Victor Von Doom in this film.
Yep.
And the theory behind it is that Tony Stark is another timeline variant of Victor Von Doom. And it's an interesting theory. I don't know if that's the actual storyline that they're going to eventually go with, because there's some inconsistencies with there is at one point we do meet Howard Stark. Like, Tony goes back, he meets Howard Stark, and he kind of talks about his son and stuff like that. So there's some inconsistencies in like his origin story, and like what would have made him kind of a variant, and stuff like that. So I don't know how they would fix that. Marvel likes to retcon stuff, so
Bring in
it's
Deadpool.
possible
Well,
at this point.
Is it the Doom? What's his name?
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. I tried to not call him Judge Doom because I know he was Judge Doom. Doctor Doom. Isn't the whole thing with Doctor Doom is he never takes his mask off because it's like welded to his face?
No. I think in the comics it could be. There is something about it.
It was hot and he put it on his face and now it's stuck there.
Basically melted onto it or something.
What if they just did that? And then you never see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, and then it's just a different guy.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think there's going to be like this really scene with a lot of anticipation where we're going to get members like Steve and Thor that remember Tony, and at some point Doctor Doom removes his mask and they're like, Tony? And he's like, no, like he was just a variant of me or something like that.
I could see that happening. They have to have that moment where the audience just goes silent. Like that's gonna happen.
There was another thing that I heard that was kind of interesting as well, that I think Spider-Man is going to be a part of this at some point, or the speculation is that Tom Holland is going to be reprising Spider-Man in this film. And if that's the case, the bringing Steve back is kind of a cool touch point for where that franchise is right now, because at the end of the last film, everybody's memory had been wiped about who Peter was, and nobody knows who Spider-Man is anymore, except for Steve, right? Because Steve had gone back in time, and he's the only one that knew who Peter was, and still has the memory. So he could potentially come back to this timeline, meet up with him, and say, oh, well, have you guys enlisted Spider-Man or something like that?
Well,
and sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so my only question is, does his memory, would Captain America's memory be the same as Steve Rogers because they're in a different multiverse?
Well, but the Steve Rogers is in the past. It's not in a multiverse. He's this is like him in this reality in the past, because he went to go live with what's-her-pants.
There you go.
Peggy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Peggy.
You. Okay.
So it is
makes
the
sense.
same timeline for him.
And then he became
went back in
old,
time to
remember?
live
Then he
with
was old.
Peggy.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm old!
And he didn't have to worry about Captain America because Sam was already Captain America. So,
Right.
He didn't have to worry about that. So he basically got to live his life with Peggy, basically. So that's why the theory kind of makes sense a little bit, that he could come back forward in time again to the current timeline, and he's they're all trying to put together a team to defeat Doctor Doom, and they're like, well, have you talked to Spider-Man? And they're like, who's Spider-Man? Like, have you talked to Peter? Like, who's Peter? And
Peter Quill, we got one of those.
He's the only one that remembers who he is, so that's how they would bring him back. I'm looking forward to more of these teaser trailers. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the film. I don't know what story they're gonna be pulling from at this point.
The Cat in the Hat.
Well, he is a monster just like Mary Poppins, I guess.
Yeah.
The speculation was that there was a fan-made teaser that included people from Wakanda and then the Fantastic Four.
Supposedly I've been reading it. Supposedly the AI trailer is just based on what has been released. So I think what's in theaters right now.
Okay.
And like somebody I looked up a bunch of stuff on Reddit to try and see, and people were talking about it. And so it looks like if this is true, all this big, stuff, it's the trailer has M'Baku and Shuri and what's his pants?
No, that's his real name.
The
Fantastic.
No, not him. The freaking Aquaman, but not Aquaman.
Oh, Namor.
Yeah, him. And then Rock,
his pants,
the Thing.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson is in it. The Rock?
No, the Thing. The Thing.
Oh my gosh, my face! I was like, no.
Then the Rock, yeah, and also the Rock is in it. He's playing.
No, the Rock cannot be in it. He ruined enough things last year.
He's a different.
Travis
He's
Scott.
a variant of
the Scorpion King.
Yeah. Hey, they're making another one of those. Not the Scorpion King, but the friggin' not Tomb Raider. I said the wrong thing.
There is a new Tomb Raider coming.
Yeah, no, but what's it called?
The Mummy.
The Mummy. The Mummy.
Isn't Brendan Fraser supposed to be in this?
Both of them are in it.
All of them.
Oh,
all
nice.
of them.
Nice.
4 of them. Yeah.
Wait, for who? Which 4? Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. Her. I don't know what the guy's name is, but the guy who
the
plays,
brother.
Her brother.
Oh, okay.
Not Rachel.
No,
that's his name. Not Rachel.
His
name's
not
Rachel. Yes.
Chandler,
and
Joey, Monica.
The
whole
I don't.
Scooby Gang.
He was like one of the.
Let's see.
He helped them, not Imhotep, but he helped them, and all I could remember is right now he's on Star Trek, but I can't remember his name.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so
Joey.
there are 4 people.
Chandler, Ross.
No.
Monica, Phoebe.
No.
That says John Hannah. I think that's the brother. Is
Yes.
reportedly signed. I don't know. I can't find the 4th one. Somebody will tell us.
Believe me, there's 4.
Conformity Gate.
There's 4.
Sala's gonna be in it. John Rhys Davies
Short
will
round.
return in The Mummy. Just for fun.
Yes, just for
That would be awesome if he did go on.
Just be in another movie. I would be fun if he was just in another movie.
It would
yeah,
be
exactly.
I would love to start seeing them cross universes the way that they're all under the Disney and Fox and all that the same umbrella, and just have like Sala appear in like an archeological dig on Moon Knight. Like they're out in Egypt doing some archaeology, and they're like he meets up with Sala.
I mean, he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects that were released in 2023, and then that's it. He did a voice in Rick and Morty last year.
Nice.
And that's it.
Nice.
Oh, he has 15 upcoming things. Anything cool? I don't know. Something called Bone Keeper.
That sounds violent.
Let's see what's Bone Keeper about.
It's a horror film with Vecna.
6 young friends
Conformity
investigate
Gate.
missing person cases in a remote cave system, unaware they're being stalked by an ancient creature lurking in the depths. John Rhys Davies.
Upside down. All right. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up today. What do you think?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Well, keep us posted on his projects. Let us know if there's anything we should watch out
Well, there's
for on
15
Disney+.
of them, apparently.
but not all of them are gonna end up on Disney Plus.
No, I think none of them are.
Well, you don't know. Maybe one of
Okay.
them. Maybe one. You
Maybe The Way of the Wind.
Avatar 5, starring
A guy. I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
Oh wait, my shirt. Hold on, I'm wearing a
shirt.
shirt. It's a Haunted
So
Mansion
fancy.
Butler shirt.
Cool.
It has says wrong side. It's not mirrored. I'm gonna grab it over here. It says Ghost Host here, like a little Disneyland name tag that's there. This is kind of cool. I don't know. I think I got this like 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Fake suit. Oh, look at me.
I wonder if I could get away with that and like a jacket at work as like business casual.
Probably.
Yeah.
If they don't look hard enough.
If they don't see
If
the
it's
name
just
badge,
on
why not?
Zoom.
Well, I'm gonna have another jacket over it, so
Yeah,
all you see
exactly.
is that. Like then
Who's
I'll
gonna
be much
know?
more comfortable.
Who's gonna look? Who's gonna pay attention?
Nope. No one.
Get me one.
Exactly.
All right, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for this week. So until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.